This row is very good. Thank you for giving me your attention right away. Okay, so first question is, do you agree that positivity helps athletes get better and negativity distracts them? Raise your hand if you agree. Anybody, thank you. Anybody disagree? It's not impolite if you disagree with me. That's anybody not sure? Okay, so then the question is there too much negativity in sports? In the United States, I would say yes. But you have to tell me, is there too much negativity in sports in Japan? If you think there's too much, I see some heads nodding. If you think there's too much negativity in sports, raise your hand. Now, here's where I need some brave people. Do we have any brave people here? The question is, why? Why is there so much negativity in sports? And Matt here will, if we can find a brave, here we go. Great, thank you.
ダメだダメだっていう理由が人が多い理由っていうのは、勝つために、そのダメだダメだっていう姿勢が要は、人の成長を促すと思っている考え方があるからだと思います。いいですか。で、後ろ向きな姿勢っていうのはそういう意味で言うと、それが勝つことにつながっているっていうある一つの事実があったからそれがつながってきているんではないかなと思います。以上です。
Thank you very much. Two big ideas there. One is it's people's attitudes. And we often don't pick our attitude. We get our attitude from our parents or from society, and the attitude is negative is better maybe. And then the second point was that people think that negativity actually develops players better. Yeah. So wrong attitude maybe, wrong belief. Somebody else, any other ideas? Here and then here.
私が思うのは、コーチっていうのは現役の選手よりも経験値が高くて、到達すべきスキルのゴールっていうのを、ある程度イメージしているケースが多いと思います。で、そのスキル面での不足に目がいくので、そのスキルの、スキルを向上させたい、不足しているよっていうことを指摘するっていうことで、どうしても否定的な後ろ向きな発言が多くなっていくっていう、そこに僕原因がある。スキル面での不足の指摘、そこが原因だと思います。はい。
Thank you. Great answer. Do you agree that typically coaches know more about the sport than the athletes do? I do. I believe that. So if a coach knows more than the athlete, why shouldn't the coach tell the athlete what to do? And coaches feel like if I'm just telling someone, hey, you're doing a great job, I'm not really coaching. I've got to find what's wrong and tell them what's wrong. That's coaching. The problem is that when people, we're going to talk a little bit later about a concept called the emotional tank. Every person, every player has an emotional tank like the gas tank in an automobile. And when that emotional tank is drained, well, think about it this way. If you're going to go on a long car trip, you have to fill up the gas tank in that car again and again and again until you get to where you're going. It's the same in sports. Sports is a long season, and you've got to fill the players' emotional tanks again and again and again, because the emotional tank determines whether they have confidence, whether they can deal with adversity. So yes, coaches know more than athletes in most cases, but a big part of coaching, and thank you for that response, a big part of coaching is getting your players' emotional tanks full so you can actually get better. We had another comment here.
Right. All right. I think we love the idea of no pain, no gain. Like as a athlete as well. For example, whenever we practice, we always go through like a lot of pain, like advancement, and we tend to associate the pain with improvement. So I think whenever actually players are having fun, or they can't think, oh, they are getting better or they are making any improvement, because whenever we do, for example, endurance training, we go through lots of pain, like mentally and physically. So for players, even for players, they think having fun does not necessarily mean they are getting better. So we kind of want to be disciplined. We want to be hard, like tough thing, like tough love kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of not from the coach's perspective, but also from like players, they want to be like go through like tough love. I think that's kind of the reason, another reason.
Thank you. Great answer. There is pain involved with sports. If you're going to get better, you heard the term push the envelope?
Yep.
Like you can run a certain amount of time, and then at a certain point it starts to hurt. Well, the only way you get better is you run past that. So that no gain, no pain, no gain, there's something to that. But the best coaches get players to work really hard without being negative towards them. One of my colleagues is a woman named Tina Sayer, and when she coached at the college level, very high level field hockey. Do you play field hockey here in Japan? It's kind of like soccer with a stick. And she would have them play shadow tag. They would pair up, and the goal was to step on the other person's shadow. You can't do this at night. That's a joke. So, your name is? Pardon? So we're playing shadow tag. His shadow's over there, and I'm going to run over and try to step on his shadow. And then when I do it, then he becomes it, and he's trying. So, in about 1 minute, people are exhausted because it's like. And you know what these players wanted to do? They wanted to keep playing. They worked so hard, but they were having so much fun. So thank you for that. Last question. What can you do as a coach? How many of you are coaches? Now, what the rest of you are going to have to do is imagine you're a coach. What can a coach do to lower the negativity on a team? It's a little harder question, but... Yes, sir, right here.
後ろ向きにまずなる原因がその試合とかスポーツの試合などでどうしてもスコアとか結果がはっきり出ることでそれを追求していけばいくほどより失敗したくないミスを恐れるっていう風潮のネガティビティにつながると思うのでそこはコーチが選手に、そういう話を質問してそのネガティビティを取り除くためにもう事前に選手からそういうのを聞いて例えば試合結果を恐れるなとかその選手がプレッシャーに感じているのであればそのプレッシャーはこういうことでプレッシャーを感じなくするんじゃないかということでそのコーチがきっかけを与えることによってネガティビティをポジティビティに変えることができるのかなと思います。
Thank you. Very sophisticated answer. Many coaches feel like they have to know everything, and they tell the players what to do. But your point is, sometimes you can just ask the players, hey, what would make playing on this team more fun? What would cause you to want to work harder on this team? Great example. Any other thought about how to decrease negativity, increase positivity on a team? Yes, sir.
チームの中に少し努力すれば達成できるような目標をいくつか立ててあげることが前向きさを向上すると思います。
So, another really good answer. There's a piece of research, an experiment that was done, where this psychologist, so the idea is give athletes goals that they can achieve. When you achieve a goal, do you feel good? Yeah. So this researcher had a brilliant idea. He said, he created 13 puzzles. Each puzzle was a little harder than the one before it. So number 13 was really, really hard. Number 1 was really easy. And then he put these kids in a room with all 13 puzzles, and he asked them, play with any puzzle you want to play with. Every kid made the same decision. What do you think they did? How many of you think they picked the hardest puzzle to play with? How many think they picked the easiest puzzle? How many have no idea? Here's what happened. Every kid picked the puzzle that was one level higher than they could do easily. And when they started playing with that puzzle, you know what happened? They smiled. The researcher called that the just right challenge. When we give players a challenge that's just right for them, they enjoy it, even if it's really hard work. Thank you. That was brilliant. We're going to spend the rest of our time here today talking about number 3. How can we, if we believe that positivity makes people better and negativity distracts you from what you're trying to do, how can we increase the positivity? Now, in the United States, I suspect it may be similar in Japan, but I don't want to presume. There's 2 different kinds of cultures. Would you show me your hands? That means you have to put your pencils down or whatever. Can I see both of your hands? I want you to imitate me, okay? Culture is the way we, imitate me, culture is the way we do things here. Can you say that with me in English? Culture is the way we do things here. That's all culture is. Culture is the way we do things here. Now, in professional sports in the United States, it's a win-at-all-cost culture. We call it an entertainment sports culture. It's about entertaining fans. And I just went on ESPN.com, and Bo Pelini, who's the football coach at the University of Nebraska, he won 47 games and he lost 27. Is 47 more than 27? It is, isn't it? That's a pretty good record. He got fired because he didn't win enough. In professional sports, it's all about winning. It's not about building character or anything like that. So we created this term we call sports as a development zone, where the goal is to develop better athletes and better people. It's not that you're not trying to win in the development zone. You still are. You're trying to win, but you've got 2 goals. You want to create better athletes, and you want to create better people out of sports. So, Nana mentioned at the beginning about Ashoka being about systemic change. It's not just about one person doing good things. That's good. And you didn't tell him the story about the fish and, okay. So, you may have heard this proverb, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish and he'll feed himself forever. You heard that? Ashoka goes one more step. Ashoka wants to change the whole fishing industry. So we're about systemic change. And systemic change means we have to change the culture. So we look at youth sports as an ecosystem. And we start with the leaders of the organization. Leaders need to change the culture of their organization. And what is culture? Can you do this with me? That's what culture is. That's what leaders are about. Coaches then are double goal coaches. First goal, winning. I live in Northern California, and in the United States, Northern California has kind of a reputation of being soft and new agey and just, not very serious. I live in Northern California, but I'm very competitive. When I play a sport or when I am involved in business, I want to win. So the first goal of sports is trying to win. Second, more important goal is to use sports to teach life lessons. Better athletes, better people. The parents then, we want parents to focus on helping their kids become better people. Let the coaches coach, let the players play, and parents be fans. And then at the bottom, athletes, and this is a very big idea. We want athletes to be triple impact competitors. We want athletes to work at 3 levels. First level is make yourself better. I want to work as hard as I can to be the best athlete I can be. And then I want to make my teammates better. Level 2 is making my teammates better. I was reading a book today about Ichiro Suzuki, and they talked about the concept of wa. There's no word in English like wa, but I love the word, and it's about group harmony. It's about people working together to really accomplish something great. This idea of making your teammates better by filling their emotional tank is, I think, the basis of WA. How do you get a team that really works hard together, that supports each other, that pushes each other to be the best they can be? I think it's by teaching them about the emotional tank so the coaches fill the emotional tanks of the players fill each other's emotional tank, and they make their teammates better that way. And then the third level is making the game better, competing in a way that win or lose, you feel good about it. You're not bringing shame on your team, your school, your country. So this is what Positive Coaching Alliance is trying to do in the United States. And I think one of the reasons Ashoka brought me here is the idea that maybe this would have some value in Japan as well. So here's our model of coaching. First goal, winning. This is about, we live in a competitive world. People need to learn how to compete. Part of competing is not getting distracted. It's keeping your mind in the moment, working hard. And then that second part is learning life lessons from sports. And we see them coming together. Had a really good conversation with people before this event about should coaches at a professional level, for the Olympic team, should they be double goal coaches? And I would say is the best ones already are. That if you make a connection with a player, if you let that player know that you really care about him or her as a person, not just as an athlete, they will go to the end of the world for you. If that coach thinks all you care about is winning, and you're just a cog in the machine, they're not going to give you everything they've got. And what double goal coaches do is they produce triple impact competitors who work really hard on mastery, becoming the best they can be, on being leaders, who help create WA in the organization and make their teammates better, and then make the game better by the way they compete. Now, any of you like pizza? In the United States, people talk about their pizza having a secret sauce. It's the sauce. Cheese is cheese and the crust is crust, but it's the sauce that makes it taste so good. And they talk about a secret sauce that makes their pizza the best. So our secret sauce for Positive Coaching Alliance, first of all, we look at the research from sports psychology. What do sports psychologists tell us is the best way to get the best out of athletes? Secondly, then, we work with some of the greatest coaches in the world, mostly in the United States, and we say, how do you get the best out of your players? So we take those best practices and share them with high school and youth coaches. And then thirdly, we take advantage of this endless procession of teachable moments. You're at practice or a game, something bad happens. That's a teachable moment. That's an opportunity to work on resilience. You're in practice and something really good happens. Teachable moment. What did you do that made that work so well? Let's remember that. Maybe you're in practice and it's just a boring day of practice. Not much seems to be going on. And you're kind of sick of practicing. Teachable moment. If you want to be really good at something, you have to work hard even when it's boring. So you put those three things together. The best research in sports psychology, the best practices of great coaches, and this endless procession of teachable moments where kids have an opportunity to rise to the occasion or not. And that is what makes us successful in developing better athletes and better people. Now, we have three principles. One is called the elm tree of mastery, where you have elm trees in Japan? You know what an elm tree is? It's a tree. The E stands for effort. Give your best effort every time. The L for learning and improvement. You're a sponge. You're always trying to learn more. And then the M is for bouncing back from mistakes. So here is, we're going to do a little pairing up again. Here is a real life situation. This athlete, Jesse, hangs his head whenever he makes a mistake. As a result, he doesn't get ready for what we say is always the most important play. What is always the most important play? The next play. You can't do anything about the play that already happened. Later, you can think about how another situation like that comes up. But right now, the most important play is the next play. Jesse makes a mistake, he hangs his head, and he doesn't get ready for the next play. You are the coach. Jesse's on your team. What do you do? I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Find somebody to talk to. How do you help Jesse get over hanging his head when he makes a mistake? Go.